Most business owners work 10-hour days, find growth stressful, and if they stop working, the business stops working. Which means your business feels more like a job than a business. And it's all because everything relies on you, making you the bottleneck that's holding your business back. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system that I help my clients install to fix that so that you can remove the chaos from your business, stop being the bottleneck, and scale faster. Now, the first thing you need to do is actually find where the business relies on you, because otherwise, if you don't do this, you'll just stay stuck as a bottleneck no matter what you do. Now, every business owner will be uniquely tied to their business because your business is different from everyone else, whether that's based on your team structure, how you do things, etc., etc. Your business is slightly unique. So the best way to see where your business relies on you is by auditing your time. Now, I have a tool that I give to my clients to help them with this. I'll leave a link in the description below for you to get it for free. Use it, okay? But how it works is every hour you come into this sheet and you track what you did in the last hour in 15-minute increments. So let's say it's 9 a.m. You track what you did from 8 a.m. to 8:15 a.m., 8:15 to 8:30, and so on. You want to do this for an entire week. And yes, this can be a bit annoying to do. Trust me, I know I do this myself every quarter, but there's nothing even close to how effective this is. So just do it, and don't only track tasks, by the way, track decisions you make, approvals, emails, everything, okay? The more detailed that you can be with this, the better. And what you're going to find is a ton of things that rely on you, but that do not need you. Maybe it's a task that you know you should delegate, maybe it's an approval you shouldn't have to make. There will be a ton of things you're spending your time on, which as a business owner, you should not be spending your time on, and therefore these things depend on you and make you the bottleneck. But they don't just depend on you because you do them. There's 4 different ways things can rely on you. So let me show you the first way, because this is the most common reason you're still stuck in the day-to-day. So imagine you hired someone and you didn't tell them what you wanted them to do or how to do it. Well, what's the bloody chances they're going to do a good job? It's as much a chance as me playing for the World Cup final in Spain. I'm not Spanish. I cannot play football. It's not going to happen, right? Yet that is one of the biggest reasons you're the bottleneck, because you hold all the necessary information to do anything in your business up here in your head, right? So everything is obvious for you. But for other people, if you haven't given them the information, then they don't have it. So they won't do a good job. So you'll end up just doing it for them, keeping the business reliant on you, which means the first dependency that you need to remove is an information dependency. Now, to do this, you need to take that information that's in your head out of your head. The best way is to map out your system so that this way you can assign responsibilities, see who does what. Now, if you don't know how to map your system, stick around to the end because I'll link a video of mine which shows you exactly how to do it. But this will show you what your business does, when it does it, and who does it. You can then take the knowledge that you have up here and turn it into SOPs, checklists, templates, and examples so that your team can access that knowledge without running to you or, you just deciding to do it for them. All of a sudden, they can do things without you because the information is no longer stuck up here. It's somewhere where everybody can find it. Which brings us to the second dependency. And fixing this is how you stop your team from doing crap quality work, because nobody wants that. See, when I ran my ghostwriting agency, my team could still do the work, but I was still checking everything and approving everything because they, like I said, they could do the work, but it wasn't to a standard I was happy with. And so I was still the bottleneck because nothing was officially done until I moved it forward. And I couldn't figure out what it was. Why could nobody do anything to the level that I wanted? And once I realized why, I fixed it and I never had to approve anything again. So this second dependency is a standards dependency where your team might be able to do the work, but just not the way you want it done, which happens because you're the only person who actually knows what good looks like. And if you want to stop being the bottleneck, well, you need to fix it. Now, the best way to do this is actually using the SOPs from the last step. So when you're creating your SOPs, which are essentially just step-by-step processes for completing a task, you need to define the result that you expect. So create a clear definition of done. What should it look like when it's done? The task is done when it meets these criteria. Then you provide checklists to help them and examples of good and bad work. This way you're showing them, hey, we want this, not this. So when they complete a task, they can check it against the criteria you provide, and eventually performing that standard becomes automatic. And depending on the task or the thing that you're creating the standards for, you can actually use data to measure performance and hence judge the quality of their work as well. You could track client retention, error rates, delivery times, sales conversion. It depends on the task, obviously, but essentially, the examples and SOPs help the team produce good work, while the data shows whether that work is creating the right result. And the goal is for your team to judge the quality of their own work so they know whether it can move forward or not without you having to do it all for them, which brings us to the third dependency, And this is something that most business owners completely overlook, and so they stay the bottleneck forever. Literally. So the best way to explain this is, imagine you're trying to teach someone to play chess. You explained the rules, you told them what a good move is, what a bad move is, that the queen is the most powerful piece on the board, and everything they need to know so that they can play the game without you having to look over their shoulder their entire time. But when it came to taking one of the other players' pieces, they had to stop and ask you permission. Well, that means they're still dependent on you, and it makes everything else bloody useless and pointless, which is exactly what happens in most businesses. See, the third dependency is a decision dependency, where your team might have the information and ability to do the work, but everything still comes through you because they don't know how to make a decision or what decisions they're allowed to make, which of course keeps you as the bottleneck. Now, to fix this, you need to utilize your systems map that I mentioned earlier. When you map out your systems, you want to give each system and process one owner who is responsible for that process or system. That person is allowed to make decisions regarding the thing they own. Now, this is where it gets unique to you, your team, your business, because you want to give them boundaries for decisions. Like, you don't want them to go out and take a 10-figure loan to build a software. Like, fuck that, okay? So you need to define boundaries. Some decisions they'll obviously be allowed to make independently. Some they should make and then inform you about. Some should only be made by managers. And some decisions should be brought to you so that you can make them. Like I said, this will be entirely unique to you, so I cannot help you here in a YouTube video. Obviously, there's links in the description below to work with me directly where I can help you, and we can build out all these systems specifically for your business so that you stop being the bottleneck. But for example, someone might be allowed to resolve a customer issue independently up to a cost of £500. But if it's going to cost more than that, it requires approval from either their manager or you. Or someone in operations could make the decision to change a process to improve delivery times, but they cannot change the product or service that you offer. And of course, you might actually have to train people on how to make good decisions using data and further consequences and systems thinking, but you'll only be able to do that once you first delegate the decision-making process and then see how good they are at making decisions in the first place. But either way, this is crucial, because if you delegate the task but not the decisions, well then that task still ultimately depends on you. Which brings us to the fourth dependency, and this is the one which can either make or break whether you stay the bottleneck or you finally let your business become scalable. So tell me this, how many times have you tried to delegate something only for it to go wrong and you just say, fuck it, I'll do it myself? It's a classic. Yet it does not help you or your business, because you just end up doing everything. The business keeps relying on you. You stay stuck as a bottleneck. See, this fourth type of dependency is execution dependency. This is where you are the one that is still doing the work required for the day-to-day running of the business. And it only exists because of two reasons. Either you haven't transferred the information, standards, and decision-making authority first, all of which we have covered in this video, or your self-worth is so tied up in being busy that you don't actually want to let go. See, most business owners act like employees in their business, not understanding that your job as a business owner is entirely different from that of an employee. Your job is to run and grow the business, not to do the day-to-day work. And until you realize that, until you understand that, then your business will always rely on you. And the only way to fix this is to first shift your beliefs around what being a good business owner is, because two things. Firstly, you cannot act outside of what you believe to be true. So if you believe being a good business owner is doing everything, then you will act accordingly and you will stay stuck as the bottleneck. So until you shift your beliefs around what a business owner does, you will not remove yourself as the bottleneck and you will not act like a real business owner. And secondly, imagine you hired someone for marketing and you found them doing your fucking bookkeeping instead. You'd fire them for not doing their job, right? Then why the fuck are you, as a business owner, not doing your job of running and growing the business? Why are you doing someone else's job, an employee's job? You need to understand that it is not your job to do everything. Yes, it is your business. You're responsible for making sure everything gets done. But that does not mean that you do everything. That is stupid. And yes, it is necessary when you're starting out that you do everything. But as you grow, the less things you should do. This way you can put more energy into what matters, and the more your business will grow. At some point, you have to realize that you're the bottleneck because you want to be the fucking bottleneck. So stop it. Make that change. Stop self-sabotaging your efforts to make the business depend less on you, and then fix your information, standards, and decision dependencies so you stop being the bottleneck that is holding your business back. And of course, removing these dependencies will be 100 times easier if you have the right systems. So click the video on screen now, and I will show you how to build the systems that your business needs to run without you.